You're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Liz, this is James, and we have a special guest today, Dan Creel. Hi, Dan.
Hey.
Dan
Hi.
is from Protagonist Soccer. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I like the star on your crest. What does that mean,
Yes.
by the way?
Oh, it's so nice. It's when you win a whole championship
Oh,
and you beat the
heard about
pants off of Fort Lauderdale.
that. Yeah, it is. That's a good way to win your first championship, is to beat your cross-state rival.
Yes, who we
Yeah.
still have not lost to.
There we go.
We
There
haven't
you
beat them again this year, but we haven't lost to them
There
yet.
you go.
So that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
So Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself and about Protagonist.
Yeah, so I'm a contributor to Protagonist. I'll do some writing for them and sometimes do podcasting. I used to be a regular podcaster for them up until last year, and then I took a bit of a break from that for a lot of different reasons. Actually, I just did a podcast with them. We did a retrospective. Myself, Dan Vaughn, who's the editor, and John Howard Fusco, we used to do this podcast called Knights Who Say Nisa, and we covered the Nisa League. Don't worry if you've never heard of it, because it is what it is. And we did a retrospective a couple weeks ago, and it just went on Protagonist. So I kind of do bits here or there. They'll ask me to do things, and sometimes I'll come up with something out of the blue, and they're happy for me to kind of put it on their site.
I like Knights Who Say Nisa. I just rewatched Monty Python and the Holy Grail
Right. So
a week ago.
shout out to John Howard Fusco. He came up with one of the greatest kind of podcast names. That was his creation. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. And of course we have James Knowles. James, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I just did a show about the Rowdies earlier today, and in that show, I told everybody that was listening they should buy tickets to come watch the Sun play Sporting JAX this weekend. We're going to get to that later on, obviously, but there's just a little plug for our second half of this podcast.
Yes, and speaking of plugs, we're going to plug ourselves and say you should like and subscribe. It's at RBLR Sun FC on all the socials, at RBLR Sports on the YouTubes, where you can see our beautiful faces. And super producer Eureka, of course, walked away, so now I'm not getting my cookie for remembering to do that. Gosh darn it. So Dan,
yes.
You are a soccer historian, a lower league enthusiast, and one of two whole fans of DC Power.
Yeah. So yes, I live in the DC metro area, so I don't have. So that would be my rooting interest for the Super League, yes. And like a good DC resident, I don't really go to any of the games. I don't pay too much attention to it. Although we're going to get Trinity Rodman, I heard. Yes, go DC Power. Yes.
Yeah. I think the Trinity. I can't even remember when it happened. It was like a week ago now or something like that.
Yeah.
That was bananas. That was just the funniest thing
Yes.
DC could have done, and I love that they did it.
Agreed.
Really.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah. Well, we can go there. I too love that, because it was, and the reporting on it was, they could actually keep, there's not a salary cap, right? So they could actually give Trinity Rodman the contract that the Washington Spirit can't, which is just it's just one of those things about how big time sports work in the US, where you have these weird salary caps and all these different bits and pieces. So why not get your name out there? And I saw, it was funny because I saw somebody posted it, and there were a bunch of comments below it. I didn't read a bunch of comments. It was on Blue Sky, which I'm on. There were so many responses of people, mostly dudes, saying things like, "I've never heard of the Gainsbridge Super League. What is this thing?" Yeah. Right? It's kind of like, well, you're telling on yourself when you say something like that, that you don't know a professional soccer league in the United States. But I agree with you. I think it was great, and it got their name out there. and kind of put a little bit of a shade on the Washington Spirit, which I think is probably maybe the main reason why the DC Power exists, is just to throw some shade on the Washington Spirit, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, because they both have affiliations with DC United, don't they?
Yeah, I
And
think
I know they both play at Audi Field.
they both play at Audi Field. I don't know how much. I don't think DC United owns any of the Spirit. I think maybe they used to at some point, but not anymore. It's just an odd circumstance here in DC, but
Yeah,
odd sports
not.
here.
I didn't think that was one of the weird ones when the Super League came out with their initial markets. I was like, we're gonna cannibalize the NWSL? Really?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah. I mean, we've talked about this way long time ago when I was on here. The DC United does have a partial ownership of DC Power. So yeah.
It's
It
weird.
is what it is.
And then
Yes.
I haven't looked into this at all. I'm completely like going off the top of my head. But NWSL does have salary like exempt or contracts exempt from salary caps. So I don't know why they wouldn't just utilize that.
Well,
I also don't know any of the specifics on that.
Me either. I saw something literally today. Somebody, I think it was a Japanese player, I believe, just got a contract, a salary exempt contract, and it's yes.
Unless it's like an internationals only thing, but then normally it's just you have a certain amount of international spots or something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the NWSL gets into the whole MLS way of doing contracts, there are a bunch of dudes who love that. They just love talking about
trading Garber bucks for Garber bucks.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
I mean, they're getting there. I was talking about this with my dad the other day. The NWSL is just turning into the MLS when it comes to new teams, and it's so frustrating. It's one team, and the amount to have a new team just keeps going up because you're sustaining the rest of the league.
Right. Yeah.
That's why Denver just paid $150 million after Bay FC only paid I think they only paid $50 million. Like a couple years ago. It's bananas. We're just kind of rolling with the topic, the vibes here.
Punching up.
We have no set real topics.
But I think that speaks to what the place that the Super League could fit in, especially in the women's soccer, is that relative to men's soccer, they just isn't. It was just the NWSL until the Super League came on board, and why not? If you have the ability as an organization to meet the Division I standards, why not? And I know there's a lot of people out there who don't kind of like it for just feel reasons. But DC Power is doing it for a publicity stunt, but it's an alternative, and because there's tons of talent on the field, in the front office, in the organization otherwise, and so much of a desire for women's soccer that why not do it? I think it's a very good idea, and I think. I know Sporting JAX is the first expansion team this year. I think there's a few more coming, and I think kind of that slow growth with organizations who already have a foundation. I think it helps it and helps grow the league. And I will say, American soccer fans are probably the most gatekeepery, myopic fans are out there, and so you see kind of the defensive reaction from a lot of soccer fans to the Super League, because I think to them it just doesn't feel. A lot of folks, it's like, why are they doing this? It feels like there is a finite amount of soccer out there to be had, and if the Super League takes up a bit of space, that means that, I don't know, the NWSL isn't as great as it's supposed to be. But I love. I love this level of soccer. I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much more community based. You get to know the players, you get to know the front offices. Um, yeah, that's why I mean, I used to be a huge Major League Soccer fan, and I moved away from that a long time ago. But things like the Super League, yeah, it's a great idea. The growth is available there. They're on the traditional calendar already. You see MLS starting to go there, and now the question is, will NWSL go there? I think it enables the organization to network with like the world soccer, with to get players and international windows. I know is something that a lot of other countries do, and we don't do it here great. And yeah, it's yeah. I just, I'm a casual fan from afar when it comes to the Super League. I have a very limited bandwidth for soccer that I watch, but yeah, I would say to folks who follow the Super League and you all, I would like I would like kind of brush off any kind of like negative stuff you get from kind of the gatekeepery soccer media and soccer fans, because kind of do it the way you do it, and like don't try to copy what MLS has done or NWSL has done. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential, tons of potential in the Super League.
I mean, I think that was kind of the goal, right? The goal was to fill in more spaces where we needed not only teams, but probably, honestly, even more than that, it was filling in spaces for more players. I think that there are a lot of players who are capable of playing at a higher level. And to be fair, there are other leagues that they could go play in, like just using an example that's pretty close to home for Lizzie and me, because we sit in the supporters section. Ashley Orcus, our goalkeeper last year, she has played professionally in Iceland before coming to the Sun. She did not re-up her contract this past summer, and then she played in Iceland up until recently, when I think their season ended, obviously. So I don't know what her next steps are, but there are other leagues to go and play in, but maybe that's not as feasible for everybody. Maybe they would probably prefer to stay a little bit closer to home. And generally, there are tiers of soccer in other places, and they're trying to build that up here. This is not considered a second tier, but I think that having options for players is probably even a larger consideration in making the USL Super League a reality. Dan, getting into this, I know that you said that you might have a lesser bandwidth for this, but we're let's say about a year and a half into the USL Super League overall. Yeah. From your position, what are your thoughts on the league overall? What are your thoughts on the progression of the league from when we first heard about it and the first 8 teams to now, where we obviously do have Sporting JAX, like you said, an expansion side?
Yeah, I mean, I think the league I follow, because my team has gone the way of a lot of American soccer teams, is I follow USL League One, is kind of currently the league I really am interested in. It's kind of my focus, although I watch a lot of other soccer. And I think that league, they launched in 2019 during COVID, and they had some of those MLS2 type teams in there, and which were left to the MLS Next Pro, and they have built slowly over time. It was a size of a similar size to the USL Super League, and it's such a fun league, and I can see that the Super League is similar, that it created a lot of community and rivalries. There's a team in Statesboro, Georgia, and they're out in the middle of Statesboro, Georgia, which is nowhere. But they won a championship, and they're really well run, and it is interesting soccer to watch. It's very community based, very personality based. When you're following it, as I do as a fan and kind of a media person, you like get responses back from the community, and I see something similar with the Super League, and I think we're talking about vibes today. I'm on to talk about vibes today. It has that similar feeling where it feels like USL has been doing this for as an outsider. I know there's always, I know when you cover when you're covering a team or covering your league, you always hear the kind of negative stuff that's going on, which always happens with organizations. But as an outsider, somebody who is kind of tuned into things that are below just the national teams and MLS or NWSL and the Premier League, um, it feels right, kind of how this is being built, how they've gotten the sponsor, the league sponsor, which is how they do it in the Europe, right? Which is brings money in the door, and they have the media deal with Peacock, and we were talking about this before we started recording. The playoffs, the past playoffs, which y'all won, Tampa Bay Sun won, was really great. It was really great television. I watched the semifinals and I watched the final at the stadium, and it was, professionally done. Great camera angles, right? Great pitch, great teams, great soccer. And I think I'm, gonna bash Americans because that's who I am. We tend to only want to have like the top. We only want to cover the top level. For whatever reason. And if you scratch the surface a little bit and get down, just a little hair down, you see just this great kind of soccer happening. Because we have so much talent in this country. We're the number one country for when it comes to women's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, what the national team is doing, continues to do. And it shows when you watch like W League and when you watch NCAA games, and you watch some European women's soccer, that I think I know that the available talent is there. It's just creating a product that folks with the money are comfortable, investing in this. And I think, you don't want to. I've seen too many soccer leagues, and done research on too many soccer leagues that expanded too quickly, and that's deadly. That's deadly.
Right.
It rarely, ever works. And so I think bringing a team on, vetting them, making sure they have the resources to field a professional soccer team, which costs just a ton of money. If you do that, and each individual team make sure they kind of plug into the community. We'll talk about DC Power. They've done that. They're kind of there, but you'll start growing this bigger community of teams and league, and you'll start creating these fan-based narratives and team-based narratives, and it just becomes this really fun thing to follow. And I'm sure it already is for y'all, but I do see that with the Super League. I've been impressed with how they've unrolled it, and there's nothing from Vive viewpoint that I've kind of seen alarm bells, where I have with other leagues and other situations. I'm not really seeing that right now with the Super League. So yeah, I think I'm agree with you. I think more people should be watching it when get some of those Rowdies fans over.
Yeah.
Bring some Spirit fans over to watch DC Power, which probably is never going to happen. But yeah. I think it's really good. I think it's really good. I think its trajectory is up for the Super League.
Yeah, I can't speak for other teams, and I guess DC hasn't really done much with the community aspect, but I know Tampa Bay, like that's where I got this scarf right here where it just says Super League Tampa Bay. Was they had community huddles all around the Tampa Bay area, which is huge, by the way. It went all the way down from Sarasota all the way up to, I want to say they went like as far as Zephyr Hills. That's a good, like from top to bottom, at least 2-hour drive. if you're just driving straight, and they had several community huddles in the whole area, so they really wanted to get everyone's input, and they wanted everyone to know that, hey, we have a soccer team coming, give us your input, and then also give us your information so we can send you stuff when it comes out. And like I don't think we'll ever see, you know, who's the owner of the NWSL, what, Michelle Kang?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see her in the supporter section the way we have Amanda Vandervoort hitting the drums with the Heat Wave.
Yeah.
And many other teams. She loves to go to the
She's
supporter
great.
sections.
She's really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was interviewed on Protagonist a long time ago, and I remember we were super, obviously, like, not that we're harpers or anything, but even before I think the Super League launched, Dan had her on to talk about things. Just great, you know, just a great get for a first commissioner of the league. Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up, I'm just going to bring it up here, is I think I would love to see more. This came up recently on Blue Sky. That somebody on Blue Sky, somebody I follow, is a Union of Omaha fan. Union of Omaha. A Union of Omaha fan of this tour. Union of Omaha.
Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, Mutual of Omaha's Union. You know, was saying somebody said, like, go support your local, teams, podcast or media folks, because they're kind of doing it. When I did same with you all.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'd love to see more women doing these podcasts, which I agree. It's one thing I would love to see more of, but not just with the men's leagues, but obviously with super leagues, is more podcasting seems to be a dude thing. And a white guy thing, and especially, and I think it would benefit everybody, all sides of fans, if we saw more women, LGBTQ folks kind of in that space. But I get that it's kind of a dude space, and it's hard to kind of break into that. But I'm hopeful. Again, hopefully the Super League will drive some of that, which diverse voices always makes things better, because, like, you can kind of watch the same podcast or video cast for one team or one league, and it's three white guys, like myself included, and then you'll find another one, and it'll be the same, and it has got a bit tiring. We might to see, more kind of voices and faces out there than people like me doing this.
Yeah, it was hard to find people to even talk about Sun Soccer. Like, I love James. James is phenomenal, but his primary is the Rowdies.
Yeah.
And we had a hard time trying to find just people to talk about it. And like I was obviously trying to find a female co-host, which would be awesome. And it just hasn't worked out yet. It's frustrating, because we have, like, I think we're growing that next generation right now, because I see so many, like, little girls, like from, like, young to, like, teenagers at the Sun matches for sure, and they're so excited to see the players. Right.
Yeah, and I don't, like, I'm not. This is not a blame thing at all, because I don't think there's any blame thing at all. But it is interesting that there's women's soccer fans, especially young girls, are so amazingly passionate. Like, even whatever level, the players will come out and greet them, and the kids' faces it's like they've met, astronauts, or it's just amazing. Like, I used to cover Maryland Bobcats, who played for NISA, just really down there, and the kids, like, they would come out and greet the kids, and the kids would just be like, oh my God. Right. And so they see, like, it's so meaningful to them. And it is just kind of, I don't quite get why we're not seeing more that. Like you said, I'm hoping it's just a generational thing, and folks, younger folks, are just more comfortable, and they just don't have the resources that somebody like a middle-aged dude like me has to do this. But yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, I think that obviously another big impact of this is that we are getting professional women's soccer into more places. And if you can just get it into more places, then there will be more people who end up, like you said, with the resources, the time, and what have you, who have the interest in doing that. And hopefully there will be more people who step into those roles. But yeah, it is interesting to see. With the Tampa Bay with the USL Super League overall, actually, is what I wanted to ask. Do you think that there's, I guess, what do you, from your perspective, what do you think is the its coexistence right now with the NWSL? We were just talking about the NWSL and their, as Liz mentioned, the gigantic fees that they have to pay to even get in.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think that one of the benefits of having the USL Super League is you probably can get in with a lower fee, let's say. But in the future, that won't be the only sticking point. That won't be the only reason to exist. What do you, what do you see for the future of the two leagues together?
That's a good. That I mean, it's an excellent question. I think. I mean, as somebody who's been around soccer as a fan and historian and for a long time, the track record isn't great, right? So, and I always try to be hopeful, right? Even though I might not be optimistic, I always try to be hopeful about things. And I know that just because something has happened in the past doesn't mean it can't change going forward. I think I'm hopeful that something like the Super League that is doing well will show the NWSL that it's not something to be ignored or smashed. That there is it's not a competitor. I think again, this is American sports. It's more often than not that different organizations are competitors and then you have to beat the other one and fans buy into that. Fans, we American fans tend to be like, this is my league, and then another league will come around and we just want to squash it because of feelings. Can they coexist? 100%. Even if they're on the same kind of financial level, the United States is big enough that it could have two Division I leagues. I mean, if I know people always want to look at Europe, but we have so many people and so much money here, and we're so big geographically that yes, they could coexist. People who say no, you can't coexist because you only can have one. No, it really isn't. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It is if it's kind of a business thing. Can they coexist? Yes. I'm hopeful that the women's game isn't going to become like the men's game. And I know that I think the US is going to get the Women's World Cup in 2035. And I think they're getting it. Is that right? Or 2031?
I think they're aiming for 2031, but
yeah, I think England might have gotten 2035. But I keep thinking when I think about that, I keep thinking and watching the women's team, which that Italy match, I just have to say, they just crushed Italy.
Mm-hmm.
That the people who kind of run men's soccer don't have a big say in it, because I think it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, and there's a lot of old dogs in US soccer. It feels to me like the women's game and people who are involved in the women's game have a more cooperative approach to things, and I'm hoping those voices get more power and aren't snuffed out. The issue with American soccer is you always have to think about MLS, because MLS has a lot of power and they really want to control everything. And but I'm hoping that they don't get involved. I think if they can kind of stay away, I'm hopeful that they can coexist. Something can be created here that will kind of be more of what we see in a lot of other places when it comes to women's soccer. I don't know if men's soccer is ever going to get there, but I think maybe women's soccer probably has the people involved who are willing to cooperate, and hopefully they look like they're learning the lessons of things not to do in the past. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is one thing is now is the best time ever to have 2 women's soccer leagues or to try it. So now's as good as time as any.
I mean, I just will quickly say the existence of the U.S. Super League takes nothing away from the NWSL. It takes nothing away.
Not a bit.
It only takes away people's kind of feelings that there should be only one. That's all. And like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not an I'm not an MLS fan. I'm a fan of kind of the product. But if people want to be MLS fan, I'm not gonna like poo-poo that or gatekeep it and say they're terrible. There's enough soccer to go around. You can be an MLS fan, and it doesn't impact me being a fan of DC Power. So yeah, it's that kind of culture shift. It's that culture shift that I see. I do see a difference in the women's game than I have in the men's game. Like, and it has been there. It's been that way for basically ever. That it's more cooperative than competitive compared to the men's game. Yeah.
And you can see it too. NWSL is loaning players to the Super League.
Yes.
Lexington's best keeper is on loan from the Pride.
Yes.
So the NWSL must see something, even if they think they're just sending their players to train or something like that. They must see something here.
That's a great point, and it's a marker of cooperation rather than competition. MLS, when they first got started, they made agreements with USL at the time. Was it USL? No, it wasn't USL at the time. It was USISL about loaning players. Each MLS team had 2 or 3 USL teams that they would supposedly move players back and forth, and it worked for the first year, and then MLS kind of shut the door and stopped doing it. And it's still to this day very little kind of loaning of play, amazingly low number of kind of loanees back and forth between MLS and USL. It's such a small percentage that's not a coincidence. It's really MLS not feeling comfortable doing that, which is it's not great. It's not great at all, but No,
MLS doesn't want USL to exist.
Right. Yeah.
They think they're competition, even though right now they're not.
Right. Yes.
They are, if anything, they are only propping up the MLS with players that they eventually want to move up to MLS.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Liz?
I like our last question is, why are the Sun the greatest franchise?
Oh, why is the Sun the greatest franchise? They can have continued the tradition of champions in the Tampa Bay area. Yeah. No, it's honestly, the Sun came out of the gate just on a roll, and I think I think it was kind of a really nice kind of cake topper at the end of last season that y'all got the final in that stadium. Just the crowd was amazing. You could hear it. And really, I wish I could beam that game into kind of neutral casuals or neutrals, because it's like, look at this. Like, this is an actual good, this is the thing. You don't have to ignore it. A joke I make is that the average American soccer fan knows more about like Serie B or Bundesliga 3 than they do about USL or at all. That it is kind of, I really do wish the average American soccer fan would like kind of open their back door and be open to just be okay with things that aren't MLS or NWSL or the national teams. It's not gonna.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I honestly, I'll stop talking. I have so much more fun at lower, and I know that USL is USL Super League is Division 1, just non MLS non-NWSL kind of level. It's just so much more fun. I just
Yeah,
find it more fun.
I just to phrase it bluntly, we're less, all up our own ass about it.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree with that too. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Because it is fun. It's definitely, I think it's definitely a different atmosphere than maybe even an NWSL game.
yeah.
And it does feel, I mean, I'm biased because I do attend, I think it's their League 2 is St. Pete FC. I'm so bad at remembering who's where, but like St. Pete FC games are not very well attended, but very, very fun when you do bring friends.
Well, so in the USL2 in the men's game, they had that run. Vermont Green made that run. Who's just, again, it's just an amazing organization who's done everything the right way. And I'm so glad that the W League is back, because that, there's going to be a W League team who has a similar, everybody's going to love, I don't know what it could be, the Maine Pines, which is a W League team who comes and does the same thing. And that kind of those steps, a USL League 2 championship, Vermont Green, that got so many eyes on it and was such a great kind of final, that's part of the growth. And the women's game is there the same way. There's just, like you said, I'll just use your phrase, we need to get out of our own asses and just enjoy this great thing that we have right here.
Yeah.
On Peacock. It's on Peacock.
That's right.
I know, right? I mean, at the very least, and what is NWSL has like a minimum of 4 different streaming services a game could be on.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes trying to watch games was trying to watch the playoffs and then everything after. Oh God, it was very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. Soccer is frustrating. What are we doing?
Make one channel, make it the soccer channel.
Yeah, the soccer channel.
Soccer goes on at the end.
Yeah,
We've
go back 20 years. Go back 20 years where we had the soccer channel. We had like the baseball channel. Yes.
Yeah, right.
All right, I want to say that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
For today. We will be back in just a minute with our preview of Jacksonville. But thank you very much, Dan Creel.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Can I ask you quickly before you go? Just, I want to hear quickly what your thoughts about Jacksonville are. What do you think? Just a quick, the game.
I mean, it's tough. We lost to them in our very first match. We didn't have the defense that we had that we have now. We have a much more polished defense than we did in the very first match by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So we lost to them 3-2 in the first match. We played them again about 2 months later in October, and we tied them 1-1. They do have Ashlyn Puerta, who I swear she's gonna be an NWSL scout soon. I guarantee it, because she's just scoring goals. I joke that she has a contract requirement of a minimum of 1 goal per match, because that's basically what she's doing at this point.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
nice. If you're a Jacksonville fan,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, good for Jacksonville fans, bad for everybody else.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you. I just had to ask because you said it now. I just wanted to know. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And again, you can find Dan at Protagonist Soccer. Is that what's the website for that?
I think it's protagonistsoccer.com.
All right, protagonistsoccer.com.
Yeah.
Go check it out. And then while you're doing that, hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And now I want my cookie from super producer Eureka. Boo, he gave me a thumbs down. Oh well.
Thank you, Dan.
No, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all do great work. This is awesome. Keep it up. Yes. We need media like y'all around.
Well, we'll keep on keeping it up at least.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, anytime.
And we're back. Thank you so much again to Dan for taking the time to talk to us. And now to preview our next home game. Thank God, another home game against Sporting JAX. Oh boy.
We got a big one coming up.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even have a game. I don't even have a score prediction yet because I'm just not sure. So we've played them on our very first match of the season at home. We lost 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
It was not good, but as I said previously, we did not have the finely tuned defense that we have now. We were not starting Sabrina McNeil. We did not know that we needed the McNeil. And then we played them again October 18th. So about a month after, 2 months after that, about a month ago. And we tied them 1-1 away. So.
Improvements.
And we've made improvements all over the field, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to say we could pull off a win. As long as we don't give it up in the 93rd minute.
Well, yeah, there's a long way to go through 90 minutes, but also I think that with Sporting Jacksonville, we should hit on just a couple of players. You had already talked about, when we had Dan on earlier, you have already talked about the importance of Ashlyn Puerta, who is contractually obligated to score at least a goal a game. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful that this is her last season. This is her last half season in the USL Super League, and we don't have to see her again after the second game that we have against Sporting JAX within December. That will be good. But in the meantime, shutting her down is going to be a big thing. The Jacksonville team, the way they line up, they like to press and try to catch you in a bad position where they can ultimately win the ball back higher up the field, or if they can kind of get you isolated, isolation, and then they can team up and try and win the ball back from you guys. So that's the way that we will see Sporting Jacks line up, and they will have a lot of players in our half. When they have the ball, when we have the ball, it does not matter. They will be pushing a lot of players up. Ashlyn Puerta is going to be there not only to try to score just on her own whenever the hell she wants, but she will also be a player who comes in to try and finish crosses off late. So that's going to be one of the big things that we need to watch out for. I mean, how do you see our defense hanging up with sticking up to the task that they have ahead of them right now?
I mean, I know they're gonna know they have to mark her. They need to be like glued to her. Somebody has to be glued to her at all times. The same way Nacello has like 2 or 3 players always glued to her. It's got to be the same thing.
Right.
That's the only way I think we're gonna be able to shut her down. I don't know. There's not too much difference in the lineup change, most likely, for us at least. Based on our game notes from that, we were just missing Tosh Flint from when she had, I think we ended up finding out she had like mono or something like that in one of the other games. But she was out sick. So the only person we were out was Tosh, who was a little bit of a liability in the last game. I'm hoping maybe 2 weeks, 2 more weeks to rest, recover, practice, all that. Maybe she'll become a little more finely tuned that we're accustomed to. She got a little wild and crazy in the last match. I'm still a little surprised she didn't get a red card, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Or at least like a second yellow. So I'm hoping either Tosh Flint, if she starts again, which she did start in the last match, she's, a little more on with the game plan of staying calm, or she doesn't start and we have somebody else starting up top. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, she's coming back from injury, and we don't know if she's up to full fitness at this point. I think that you noted probably there were some problems in just getting back to the swing of things in an actual game setting. Hopefully, with the game that she has played, some more time off to rest because everybody was off for Thanksgiving, then yeah, she'll be that much farther along. Are we? We don't have the injury list at this point, obviously. So we're still looking to see. I guess we're just waiting to see who's going to be available and who won't be. Again, coming up for this weekend.
Yeah, and I hate that we're still like this. Like, we're still just kind of like, oh God, when does the injury report come out?
Exactly.
Who's on it now? It feels like we've been like that all freaking season, and it's so frustrating.
It doesn't really help us get a good sense of what the team is going to look like. But yeah, what other notes do we need to know going into this JAX game? Obviously, we talked about Ashlyn Puerta. Oh, I do want to highlight Georgia Brown. Right now, she is playing, or she is currently away for duty with Scotland's senior national team. She was recently playing for the under 23s. But she has made her debut for the senior national team. And then this past week, she came on as a substitute. Today, earlier, she started against China in a 3-2 win. So, first of all, congrats to Scotland. But one other thing to note in this, I do want to highlight that possibly this could impact her negatively on the defensive side of things. I'm not sure all of the traveling that went into this, obviously, but it could just impact her negatively coming back, and she'll have a couple of days for sure. Most players traveling have about this amount of time in between an international game and then playing again on Saturday. But it's just something to keep in mind. It's always something to have in the back of your head.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like JAX, but claps for her, because that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really awesome to just be starting for you said the senior national team, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's her first start. Yep.
Yeah, hopefully Braylon Galt will be up there with her soon.
I would love to see that personally.
Yeah. She did pretty well. I think she was in. I remember watching one of the matches. I didn't watch the second one. And I think they lost. It was like 2-1 or something like that. But the goal was not Braylon's fault. The defense let her down.
Yeah. Something that can happen for sure.
Sorry. But yeah, there is that. I don't know. We don't know. This is her first appearance for the senior national team. I don't know what other appearances she's made for any of, like, maybe like you said, U23 or anything underneath that. I don't know how much experience she has with that kind of turnaround too. Who knows if the jet lag will get to her? Maybe that will make her very, very tired. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So Jacksonville currently in second. They are behind Lexington. They are second in the league for goals at 21. They are in a 4-way tie for first in goals conceded at 19. So
yeah, their defense hasn't been the best.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna bank on. And of course we have Ashlyn Puerta is leading the leagues in goals at 10 and 11 appearances. So I'm somewhere she must have missed a game. So
she was with the U.S. youth national team, but I don't know if any of those games before this past window overlapped with Sporting JAX games. So I guess we could go back and figure that out at some point, but we'll do that. When we do the Yay, Ashlyn Puerta is leaving episode.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, she can go off to the NWSL. Goodbye. Thank you. Same with Kat Esmond. If Orlando would like to recall her at any time, feel free, please.
Yeah.
They did extend her contract, so they all those NWSL final season-ending contract things are coming out now.
Yeah. Do we have anything else before we want to get into the score predictions?
I don't think so. I don't have a score. I'm gonna take the coward's way out. I think I'm still gonna say a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously the draws are looking good right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, okay, so we've got Eureka going with a 2-1 Tampa Bay win. He is on the he is not taking the coward's way out. He is going the optimist way. I am going to say, I'm going to do the opposite, actually. I'm going to say a 2-1 Jacksonville win, unfortunately.
What?
That's where I'm leaning for this one. I don't like it, but
you want Denise to roast you. That's what you want.
she does enjoy that part, but I'm seeking points in our game because I want to win.
Okay. All right.
But when we win, obviously Denise Schulte Brown will let me hear it.
Yes, good. That's her job. She coaches the soccer, but mostly it's letting you know you're wrong.
Exactly.
So quick other news. Just not a lot to be said about it yet because it just came out like 2 days ago. We do have a UPSL women's team coming to Tampa Bay in 2026. The Tampa Bay Radiants. All we know is kind of that. They have a pretty logo, and I like their colors. It's like a pastel-y lavender. And there's a GoFundMe saying that it is owned and operated by Arlena Loss, who most I could find on her, unfortunately, was just that she played for the 1 year team, the Tampa Bay Strikers.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, so that's coming. Cool. I like it. I'm here for it. I'll go watch it.
We'll keep an eye out for them.
Yeah. So keep that under radar. James, any final thoughts?
No, I think that we've done as much as we can with our preview with our Tampa Bay Radiants and with our good interview earlier with Dan Creel.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.